Um, so the first question is, what is your current job title and what are your main responsibilities in your role?
Yes, so I'm a staff software engineer at AMD, and I'm currently in the device modeling group in the embedded computing team. So I am responsible for writing code and looking over others' work with regards to bringing up the FPGA software device model.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what inspired you to pursue a career in software engineering?
Yeah, so I really like computers. I have a bachelor's and a master's in computer science. So I like coding. I like the challenge of coding and solving problems. And so I decided to get into software engineering.
Nice. And where did you get those degrees?
So I was born in the Philippines. My
Mhm.
bachelor's in computer science is from De La Salle University. Then I went to the United States to get my master's at Rochester Institute of Technology.
Okay, cool. And can you describe your career path and how you got to your current position?
Yeah, so at the Rochester at the RIT, we had the usual career fairs.
Hmm.
So before AMD bought Xilinx, um, so we were having career fairs every quarter, and Xilinx was there, and I got an interview, and then they flew me out to here, San Jose, and then along with other students from around the country. And then, yeah, I guess I passed the interview, and then I came here. The first group I worked in was called the Programmable Logic Group. It's not um, it's not that group is dissolved right now. And then after that I went to the main FPGA Field Programmable Gate Array Software Development Group, and I've been there for more than 10 years now. Yeah.
Cool. And then looking back, were there any key experiences, people, or opportunities that helped shape your career?
Yeah, I had very good mentors. When I was first starting out from grad school, I actually didn't know much about FPGAs, but my boss then was very good. He was very patient with me. Um, Looked at my code, gave me code reviews, gave me good and bad feedback. And then I was also very lucky. My succeeding bosses were also along the same path. They always gave me good feedback. So I would say that was the most important thing. It helped build up my confidence. They told me it's fine to make mistakes as long as you learn from your mistakes and don't
Mhm.
repeat them again.
Yeah. And could you describe FPGAs, just for my reference?
Yes. So it's a semiconductor. It's a chip, and it's a logic chip. Inside is a CPU, an
Mhm.
ARM CPU. There are memory blocks. There are logic blocks. There are digital signal processing blocks. There are input-output blocks and so on. But they're all blank. They're all unprogrammed. And then when a customer buys one of the chips, they program the FPGA depending on what their application is. So
Gotcha.
it becomes customized for them on the fly, right? So that's different from when you buy a specific chip already burned in, which does a specific function,
Hmm.
right? Ours is like general purpose, and you design it on site according to how you would like the chip to work. So it's programmable.
Okay, cool. So what does a typical day at work look like from you from like start to finish?
Ah, I wish I could say it was very regular, but it's very irregular. I would come in and tell myself I have to fix this bugs, right?
Mhm.
But then there will be firefighting. There will be other issues related to the software, um, and my colleagues would need my help, so I would go help them first. And then later on, I would attend meetings, group meetings to discuss various issues in our group and software development deadlines, and then projects, and so on. And then I would get more calls from other people asking about this part of the software or requesting, can you please write this API for me? Or why is this behaving in an unexpected way, and so on. So, you get told in school, you go to work, you fix bugs, but actually what happens is you get all these distractions. And
Mhm.
if you're lucky, at the end of the day, you do get to the actual work you promised yourself to do at the start. So it's mostly like that.
Gotcha. Okay. And what programming languages, tools, or technologies do you use most often in your everyday work?
Yes, so we are in a Linux environment, C++. We also use Dev Studio, Microsoft, and right recently in the past year or so, we've been heavy into AI tools. Codex, I don't know if you're familiar with Codex, it helps you with programming,
Yeah.
just like what Dev Studio, Visual Studio does, helps with programming. We also I don't know if they taught you this in school, but we have source code control. We use Perforce to submit our code, and it's in some repository so that others can access it. We have a custom build system as well to build the software. We have a bug tracking system from Jira, which monitors bugs, monitors projects, tells everyone what the status is of the projects, what the deadlines are. What else? We use Slack. We use Slack and Teams to IM. We use Outlook Express to send emails. Uh, we can use any browser, but I use uh, Microsoft Edge and Firefox. Uh, when I work from home, like today, I connect via VDI. We have VPN, basically, a virtual private network. Um, yep, that's mostly it.
Perfect. And then, what technical skills do you think are most important for someone entering into the software engineering field or computer science field today?
Yes, I think it has to be flexibility because unlike before, right now, things are moving very fast.
Yeah.
So you need to, in my opinion, you need to have clear goals. For example, uh, sure, you need to have programming skills. And personally, I have an object-oriented programming language background. So once you know that, you can write in whatever preferred language you have now, which can be Java or C++ or any of the more or Python or any of the more or any of the current languages right now. But I think it's much more important that you have basic programming and object-oriented understanding skills, um, and software engineering fundamentals and data structures, which are always the basics, right? It's helpful to know those fundamentals so that when you either program yourself or you use AI tools, then you have a clear understanding of what the output should be.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what are some challenges on the job, particularly working in teams or projects, as well as the successes of working?
Yes. So the first is unlike school, there are always deadlines, and everybody wants things done yesterday.
Hmm.
So you have to be flexible, right? So it's very like I told you earlier. When I come in today, sometimes in my mind I have things I want to do, but if your bosses or your colleagues come and say, "Oh, we need help because we have our own deadlines," you kind of have to be flexible and make time for them too. So that's always a challenge, right? Balancing between what others need and what you need to accomplish. The other is keeping up to date with the different tools. Yes, it's helpful that you know basic programming language and object-oriented programming and so on, but with AI right now, there's so many tools that have to get familiar with. Um, uh, Dev Studio, Codex, agentic programming, and so forth that you have to constantly uh, be training on top of doing your work. So, it's kind of hard to balance both, right? You cannot be training and not do your work, but you also cannot do just work without ongoing training. Yeah, so I would say that is a challenge, balancing both training and working.
Gotcha. And okay. And then what type of projects are you currently working on or have worked on recently?
Yes, so we in the group I belong to, we work a lot with the hardware team, which designs the FPGA chips. So we have, without revealing anything confidential, we have a next generation chip being developed right now by the hardware team, and we have to support create the device software device model for that so that the different groups in the software team can access the hardware being developed before the hardware is even shipped to customers. So that's what we're working on. And then currently, we already have uh, hardware FPGA chips which are already shipped to customers on there. So there are different families, if you will, and we're making sure that the software um, uh, behaves properly for all the existing families and that the customers' issues are being addressed.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what kind of communication skills are most important in your job? So for example, what types of writing do you do at work, or what kinds of presentations or meetings are you involved in and have to prepare for on a daily or weekly basis?
Yes, so weekly, um, I prepare status reports of all the things that I've done,
Mhm.
including all the communications I've had with different members of the software and the hardware team and the program managers. So it's nice to be able to express yourself clearly, what you did, what you didn't do, and so on. Um, but in my opinion, it's easier now because you can have AI tools examine your email and your chats and summarize everything that you did. But it's still important that you know or that you can verify the output of, say, what ChatGPT does, right? Or the different AI tools do. So I would say uh, it's important to communicate, to first understand what you're doing and then communicate it to different people and then use AI tools to make it presentable so that others can understand it better.
Yeah. And then like for presentations or meetings, how do you go about like creating them or like how are you involved in those?
Yes, I'm very bad at creating PowerPoint presentations. We have a standardized templates within AMD
Mhm.
with which we already have available, and we just add the contents too. So I use those for, say, presentations we give to different members of the team from around the world. And then every year we have a technical conference
Mhm.
open to all the software members of the team where we present our current work. Um, and we tailor it. similar to how the IEEE conferences are held. We write according to the same style. So we just use the IEEE template to add our content and make sure it's like presenting to a technical conference outside the company.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what is the workplace culture like? And to what extent do you meet with coworkers/workers doing similar jobs in other companies? And what sort of job satisfaction do you have?
Yes. So I at AMD we're asked to come in 3 times a week now. Others come in more, maybe others less, but I come in 3 times a week. The other few times I work from home. In my opinion, it's both relaxed and stressful. Um, Especially we always have release deadlines when we have to release the software. Around those periods, it's very stressful. After those, it gets a little bit more relaxed. But I like working here because everyone's friendly. Nobody shouts at you. Nobody, even if you make mistakes, people are very understanding. Like I told you before, my bosses would tell me, "Oh, this is wrong," but they will say it in a nice professional way. They will not say, "Geez, this is wrong. You're dumb," or something like that. No, that was never the case. People will critique your code, your presentations, your emails in a professional way, and so you're expected to do the same thing. So that's
Gotcha.
what like what I like the most.
Yeah, and then to what extent do you meet with other coworkers or workers doing similar jobs at other companies or something like that?
At other companies, not very often. In fact, our communications with other companies are very restricted because we work on confidential stuff. So only when I go to technical conferences, and that's not very often, even where I get to meet with other people in the field. But
Hmm.
in general, since I'm in engineering, uh, we let the front-facing customer folks deal with other people. We're not. They don't usually recommend that we talk to the customers or the other engineers from other companies directly for
Yeah,
confidentiality. Yeah.
yeah. And so now a question about ethics. Does your
Yes.
company have a code of ethics, and have you ever encountered an ethical dilemma in your work that you would be willing to share?
Um, okay, that's a little difficult, but we do have a code of ethics, and it's written down along with the other policies, corporate policies, and we have training every year regarding ethics, dealing with customers, dealing with the other employees,
Mhm.
reporting issues we observe. Um, I have I would say the only uh, instance I've had with ethics is when I had to um, talk to other people who are underperforming. I talk to them confidentially and get them to make sure that they understand that they're underperforming and
Mhm.
give them a chance to correct their behavior, especially when they don't come to work. Um, and then in one or two instances when I did not see the improvement going, so that was the time I had to go up higher in the management chain.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so now more industry related questions.
Yes.
What do you think what do you think makes someone a truly effective software engineer?
I think it's loving what you do. I think in any field that's important because it's not always glamorous. Yes, there are good projects. Yes, you get to work with AI tools and cutting edge hardware and software. Um, but most of the time, it's paying attention to detail, and that's how you have breakthroughs. But that's also how you um, fix bugs or resolve issues technically or with other people.
Hmm.
It's by paying attention to detail and loving what you like to do. So if you're not the type who likes going over details, reading documentation, facing screens to code or to communicate with other people, no matter how high paying the job is, you're not going to enjoy it. So that's my first thing. Really have to like what you do, whether it's in engineering, in software, or in other non-STEM fields.
Yeah, cool. And then, what is the thing that you enjoy most about your work?
The people, definitely. I think primarily dealing with people who are also intelligent and outgoing is important. Yes, it's also important to be working on cutting edge technologies and making sure you're exposed to AI and good projects. But the bottom line is if you can have that, but if the people you work with you dislike, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
So I would say working with good people, treating them well, and them treating you well. That's what I like most about work.
nice. And then how do you see the software engineering field changing in the next 5 years?
Yes, I think there will be more emphasis on AI, use of AI tools, especially now. Um, like I, excuse me, like I mentioned, we have different tools to help with coding. So it's as simple now as giving a prompt and letting the tools write the code for you. So I think that's a direction software engineering is heading. Uh, Letting the tools write code for you, letting them evaluate and criticize the code, suggest improvements, and writing tests, evaluating the tests, evaluating the results. So I don't believe that AI will replace software engineering. I think AI will supplement software engineering. So I think that's where engineering field is headed.
Yeah, interesting take. What emerging technologies or trends should students pay attention to right now?
I think beyond that, like I said, it's important to know especially if in computer science, the computer science fundamentals, data structures, writing good code, understanding object-oriented systems, being able to write in an object-oriented way, regardless of what language to use. Um, Once you have that, then then only, in my opinion, only then will you appreciate um, having the AI tools to use. So yes, it's important to know about Dev Studio, uh, ChatGPT, Codex, and all the other tools which help you write uh, um, uh, in code. But if you don't have a good background in or good fundamentals in computer science, you won't appreciate and you won't know if the code given to you is good or bad.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
that's my take. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then are there any specific courses, internships, or experiences you would recommend while still in college for any student?
Yes, definitely. Like what I said, fundamentals of computer science, um, object-oriented systems, programming languages, operating systems, computer system architecture, uh, the fundamentals, basically, software engineering, how to write good code. And then also introduction to machine learning, introduction to agents, um, intelligent prompting, how to, let me see, knowing about machine learning, the different techniques in machine learning. And it would be nice if at the end of college, someone can say that, oh, I use machine learning to develop my own, say, ChatGPT, or
Hmm.
I use ChatGPT to I wrote an agent to help me do this, something
Yeah,
like that.
cool. And then are there any like internships or experiences that you would recommend to like help better prepare students for the workforce after college?
Yes. So right now, beyond school, there are different free online courses you can take using LinkedIn or Coursera or deep learning AI. I would suggest you college students take advantage of that. And sometimes, you know, even if those are online or so, you get to meet other people who are taking the courses, so you build a good network. Also, there are um, different um, courses being offered by different schools, including San Jose State. I used to take college courses at night to supplement what I already have. And one of my professors was from San Jose State. The other was from Stanford. The other was from UC. So, and by attending those courses, there are other students there who are working in different companies. So you kind of build a network there.
Hmm.
Um, and then also, uh, it would really be nice to apply for internships. Most companies will offer internships early in the year, and those are very, very, very helpful for students to get a taste of what it feels like to work after school.
Yeah, cool. And then one final question, what advice would you give to students currently studying computer science or software engineering?
Um, I would go back to saying be sure you understand the fundamentals because those never go out of style. Yes, we have AI, we have agents, we have prompting, we have machine learning, we have computer vision. Yes, those are important. But to me, the most important thing is the fundamentals, data structures, object-oriented programming, computer system architecture, introduction to CPUs and GPUs, introduction to networking, and so on. Um, if you have those, uh, you will really go a long way because especially now, the interviews at Google, at AMD, at NVIDIA, at Microsoft, and so on, they may ask you AI related questions, but it all boils down to them checking your understanding of computer basic or computer fundamental concepts.
Gotcha. Perfect. Well, that's all I have, and I
That's all.
appreciate, yeah, and I appreciate you taking your time out of your day with meeting with me for this assignment.
Sure, it was good to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
Joshua. Good luck.
yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
Bye.